Well guys, I am still in Dakar, Senegal, and I have been struggling going to markets trying to find some decent locks to pick for you. And the only thing so far that I've come up with is this good door. Obviously a Chinese disc detainer lock. A little bit unusual, doesn't seem to be too bad, but it's the same old not so good fit. Wobbles around. It is ball bearing, 8 discs. Here's the key. It does work smoothly. Ball bearing, pretty good security. There is something unusual about this. I have picked it, and I think the Chinese are watching YouTube, fellas, because this thing has false gates. There are 8 discs, and they have 3 false gates per disc. Or I'm sorry, 2 false gates per disc, and of course 1 actual gate. So because we're dealing with false gates here, I'm not going to bother to rotate all of the discs in one direction since we got to fight 3 gates. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, so it doesn't matter which way you go. So I'm going to apply light tension, try to keep it centered, and just ignore all the cussing. I am looking for which of the discs is binding, just like a pin tumbler. And if it rotates freely, that means it's not the one riding along the security bar. It feels like disc 1. So I'm going to slide him around, very light tension, and I'll feel it fall into 3 gates. And I've got to decide which gate it is. And it's easier than you think, because while they might have put false gates, the real gate feels, on most of these discs anyway, to be slightly wider. So what I do, I'm on disc 2, I'm going to rotate it, and he'll fall into 3. Oops. And once I think he's in the correct one, I rotate the pick back and forth, and you can feel him flopping around. The sidebar falls into the deeper slot, and you can kind of feel it. Now unfortunately, it's not that easy for all the discs. Some of them, 3 of them in fact, feel like the false gates are the same width as the real gate. So I'll get it so that I think it's picked, and then I'll have to fiddle with those 3 generally. Okay, I got a slight turn on the core on disc 5. I'll be damned. There we go. The disc 8, we got it right in. And we got to open. That is the fastest that I have gotten this thing open. This was a $4 lock, fellas. And I got to tell you, from a picker's point of view, this is a pretty good lock. It lets you play around with false gates. It lets you get the feel of what the false gates feel like as opposed to the real gate. And you kind of get a feel for when that sidebar falls in there. So I learned a lot from this lock, I got to say. More so than all the previous Chinese disc detainers in which there's only 1 gate, and we got them all open within like a minute. So this is a pretty good lock for $4. Anyway, from Dakar, Senegal, everybody stay safe, and for goodness sake, stay legal.